Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of your favorite program, Business Thursday. Business Thursday is a program where we interview industry leaders and business stakeholders, and they share with us their opinions and ideas, as well as inspiration, so as long as business is concerned. So today we are going to be diving in a new industry, and we are going to be having some exciting things to talk about. See you after the break.
Experience the art of photography with 7 Studios. Are you looking to capture life's most precious moments in a way that truly reflects your unique story? Look no further than 7 Studios. We offer tailored Photoshop, high-quality images, innovative concepts, and many more. Book your session now and enjoy a 20% discount on your first photo shoot. Don't wait to create memories that will last a lifetime. You can contact us at 679-406-780, or you can visit our Facebook 7 Studios or Instagram 7 Studios 2021. Our wedding page, Instagram, Weddings by 7 Studios. Book your session today.
If you're just joining us, it is your favorite program, Business Thursday, and as I earlier said, today with us we are having a music guru. We are going to be entering into the music industry, and we are going to be talking about the business in showbiz. And we also are having Rene, Immortal. He is a music consultant and he is a record label manager at Heptic Records. Good evening, sir.
Thanks, man.
So how are you doing today, sir?
I'm feeling okay. It's all right.
You have a sea of experience when it comes to music. We are curious to know, is it what you have always wanted to do?
Yeah, I have a music background, though. I started as a performing artist,
Okay.
then for a couple of years, after I have an infection with my vocal box, so I was off stage for almost 6 to 7 years. I was not performing. I was not doing anything musical like singing, rapping, and stuff like that. But after that, I have to switch to the business side of things. So I actually went into study more because I came to realize that you might have all the talent, but getting into the music, you have to understand that there is the music and there is the business.
For sure.
So after my healing, I just decided to drop out from performing and just go into studies.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So within that period, I know it must have been challenging leaving the stage to going backstage. What has your experience been like working with artists, and what are the artists you have worked with so far, and what would you say the journey has been?
Yeah, my journey didn't actually started in Cameroon. My journey started out of Cameroon. I was in this small country in West Africa, closer to Senegal, the Gambia.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I was doing all my music and all those stuff before. After traveling to South Africa, we went there for a concert, but we arrived at the concert for a festival, and I got really ill, so I couldn't return back to the Gambia, so I was going through treatment. I was thinking it was a light something, but that it was very serious. But thanks to the Cuban doctors that took care of me in the hospital that I was admitted. So from there, I kind of after my healing now, I go into studying, then trying to know the business aspect of the music. By then I was in a group. So after all my studies, I was out of performance, then I'm being the manager of the group. So it has always been challenging, and it was kind of difficult because you might have all the theories,
yeah,
but the main thing is in the practical. Yes, being on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So after my studies, my professor always told me that the game doesn't end only in the classroom.
For sure.
The real work is out there. So what you're just learning here is just temporary, but to put everything that you've studied is on the field. So at that beginning, I started when I was still in SA, started scouting out for talent, and because I was supposed to defend my diploma. So my defense was I have to go and scout out for talent, in different talent hunt shows, groom them up, trying to implement all what I've studied to use it as a defense program for my diploma. So it was really hectic because I was going through another experience in the business. So I was understanding how the business works. So I was also doing apprenticeship in most of this major label. I did apprenticeship in Sony Music, SA. I did another apprenticeship in Universal Music Group, just to understand how the business works. So inside that major label atmosphere, that's where I come to understand that this thing is not just all about talent, So it's a full business operation. So since then, I've just been focused more on the business aspect of the music industry.
Okay, so with everything in place, definitely you started far back, and it's true that it's good to follow before you lead. But which artist that has been under your management would you say had the most success, and what has been the key particular to that success?
Yeah, I've managed several artists. Some are not Cameroonians, some are from Gambia in different countries. But one of the artists that I've really put most of my expertise behind is J-Boy. I've actually started some artists their career, but because I have a way that I do my own system of management. I can take you from nothing, and transform you into something, because that's the most tedious part of artist management. Sometimes people just get into artist management, they just meet an artist who is already known, and they just utilize the popularity of the artist and go along with the management. But the most difficult part of artist management is starting with an artist who is not popular, who is not even known, who doesn't have even an online presence, but you work with the artist with a certain period of time until you started seeing the career path from where he started and from where he is right now, getting shows, big festivals and all those stuff. So with the other artists that I work with, we work to a certain level, and then I kind of retreat back, because what I was doing like that kind of boutique management. Okay. I can kickstart your career, take you to a certain level. When a more major management comes in now, then I can just let you go that, okay, these guys, I think they can take you to the next level. I've done my own part, so you can still go with them and elevate. But with J-Boy, I kind of concentrate on him for almost 4 years, and from where we started and from where he is now, at least you can see the progression of his career growth, and he's still growing because it's a continuous process.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Now, I believe in all of it, you have worked a lot with Cameroonian artists. What would you say is the major challenge being faced in the Cameroon music industry?
Yeah, the major challenge inside the Cameroon music industry when it comes to managing artists, first of all, most times the artists, they don't have discipline. You understand? They don't have really discipline, because when you're trying to be into this business, the first thing that you have to get like an artist, you have to have that mental discipline. Some of them, they just feel that it's all about their talent, but they don't know that the talent is just like 10%. The rest of the 90% is just strictly business. And as an artist manager, you have to create a very close bond with the artist. But sometimes when you create that close bond and you're trying to put things in a proper business perspective, they start to feel like maybe you're trying to exploit them and stuff. But a lot of artist managers go through a lot in the hands of Cameroonian artists, and those things happens because the artists themselves, they are kind of ignorant about the business aspect of the music. So there's always a huge challenge.
Okay. So it's really because in a year, we don't really get the new faces coming into the industry, and most times the new faces that come into the industry, they just disappear maybe after a single or after one track. You don't hear about them anymore. And honestly, it really ties to the discipline issue and all. Now, what do you think can be done? Like, what major strategy can be done, can be put in place for an artist to implement and excel?
I think the main thing, what I see, there are a lot of talents, but these talents, they also need mentorship, but we need to emphasize more on education.
Okay.
Yes, I feel that self-development is one. We have to put a lot of resources to really educate the artists, because there are also a lot of artists, but they are very limited music industry professionals. So the more we emphasize on education about the industry, because a lot of people are in the industry but they don't understand the industry. Some are just opportunists that just see that, okay, this can be a pothole for me to amass some fast money, and they just go around and be doing things anyhow. But now, why I said we need education, because it's a competitive business, and when you want to compete, you are competing with artists who are signed under major big labels and everything, and you're looking to go towards the international market. And going towards the international market is no mediocrity. You have to be professional to the core, because over there is another language, and if you don't understand the language of the business, you will always have problem. That's why you see at the bottom of the industry there's a lot of crowds. It's like it's like a pyramid form. So as you are climbing up, you go to the middle, you will find another people in the middle. When you go now when you are trying to reach to the top, you find out that the people who are in the top, they are very few. So if those who are at the bottom have that base education about the industry and the business, you realize that they will flourish in a very easy manner, because then everybody is aware. Everybody knows that, okay, this is how this thing is done, this is how I'm supposed to go, this is how I'm supposed to move. So even you, the artist, if you equip yourself mentally, you educate yourself, you realize that you will not even have issues with record labels or with management or with promoters or with bloggers and everybody in the industry. So I just feel that what Cameroon really needs, there is talent, but this talent need to be educated about the music industry and the business.
Yeah, that's true. Because the truth is, you talked about issues with record labels and artists. Every year you keep on hearing one artist has an issue.
It always is always there.
And I believe the recent one was Rene and Akumba Music. They had a rift, and it always ends in a funny way. Now, going back towards education, how much do you feel the school started by Mr. Leo, Lions Academy, how much impact do you feel it will have?
That is a very good initiative, and we need such institution like that, as many as it is in different regions. At least from the period that the Mr. Leo opened that academy, it has really groomed some certain brand of artists. Those are artists who are like well equipped.
You understand what
they understand what they are doing, and when you see the way they operate, you see some professionalism in their operation. So you know that these people have actually get some basic education about this whole system, and they know how they are moving. So for such institution, we really need them, and even the government have to bring in more of that type.
Yeah, you just mentioned the government here, and that was about my next question. I was like, how much has the government contributed towards the growth of the musical industry in Cameroon?
The thing is, government can only contribute to the growth of the music industry when the industry also is properly organized.
Okay.
You understand? Because this thing, I always get this question anytime I go for interview, the purpose of the government, because the Arts and Culture Ministry is there. Yeah. That is like the ones responsible to actually put everything in place. But as what is actually going on now presently, I realize that a lot of people in the industry, they are not really aware, but there is a huge transformation that is actually going on, because the Ministry of Arts and Culture is no longer on social status. They have been moved from social status to economical status. So they are now like a full ministry. But before, the ministry was created through the presidency.
Okay.
So they were having their fundings directly from the presidency, not from the national budget. So, but now they are included in the national budget. So they have to do all possible means now to actually restructure the artistic and cultural industry. So it is ongoing. They have already come up with 26 pools. That is, they want everybody to belong to their various field of work. You have the musical arts pool, you have those for films and theater, you have the dance, you have those who are doing plastic craft and everything. So they have actually structured it in a way that you just have to find your sector and you go and register yourself in that sector. So there is a lot going at the back end. So now they are trying to spread it now from the national level to regional level. And they have succeeded to amass most of the artists, right up to those who are in the subdivision. They have registered a lot of numbers of artists. That's when you know that there's so much talent in the country. So everybody now is trying to be professionalized. Like, if you are in the music, you know that you belong to the music arts pool. If you are in the film industry, you know that it belongs to the film and theater arts pool. So you go there, you discuss. So from there now you start coming up with project, because they are trying to build it out like a federation, which is they are trying to put in the football system into the music system, because if they don't do it like that, it will be very difficult to have an ecosystem, because what we actually lack is an ecosystem. And with that federation, it will be easy now to create an ecosystem, because an ecosystem is a system of different pillars of the industry. So if you cannot identify the pillars of that industry, you will not be able to create a sustainable ecosystem. So they are working on that, and it's actually going on. That's why most time I used to tell all these young artists, make sure you go and belong to your various pool. If you are a producer, register yourself with a musical arts pool. If you actor, actress, and everybody, get to your pool, because they're always having meetings and stuff like that in Yaoundé. Yes, and information. There's a huge booklet. I was supposed to even come with a booklet that explain everything, the breakdown of the whole federational concept. So now they're trying to create a system where people will go by associations. So if we, like us, the record labels, we can create our own association, like Cameroon record labels. So we create that association now, that we identified all the record labels that are properly registered through the Ministry of Arts and Culture. Then from there now we have a record label ecosystem. And in most industry, record labels are the pillars that actually decide what's supposed to trend and the kind of product that's supposed to come out. So once we have that, if we are properly organized, it's very easy now for us to start. For this year, we'll say, okay, how many songs can we pick out? From which genre? We say, okay, this year, since all of us, we are record labels here, and we have producers, in-house producers, this year, let's focus on Ben Sikin and just push the genre to a certain level that you turn here is Ben Sikin, you turn there, everybody is doing the same thing in different formats. And that's how we can actually identify one particular genre that we push up to a certain global level. And we know that, okay, at least we've reached to that point that we can compete with the international market. Because if you go to other countries, that's what is going on in Africa.
Okay, so are you saying it's something that young artists can be hopeful for a better future in the music industry?
Yes.
All right.
If only they just follow the principles that is being in place. Because government is just waiting for us, like, okay, are you people organized? People will go there because it's no longer individual thing. That's what they are already trying to stop. Because before, people used to go there with their projects and all those things, like based on individuality. But now you have to come, like, government now wants to recognize a body, an organization, so that you can lobby for laws, for new laws. Because without that, there is no way we can lobby for laws. But now that the ministry has moved to that economical status, we can bundle our projects now and pass it through our associations, association take it now, send it to the federation, then the federation have all those projects and push it to the ministry. The ministry now go take those projects now, go into the National Assembly to defend a budget. But if you don't have a project, how can you go and defend a budget?
That's true.
So even if you want to open a music business school, if you send a project now to the ministry, they will want to know if that business school can circulate with at least 5 regions. You know, so they are trying to create those institutions that they will have some certain institution on major urban towns. Then they'll have satellite institutions that will be like in the subdivisions and other divisions just scattered around the nation, because they have all the blueprints.
Okay, that's quite interesting. All right, now moving on from the one final question before we wrap this up. What is the major difference like between managing an artist and handling an entire record label?
Yes, it's a two different scope of work, you know, because managing an artist is like you run the entire affairs of the artist. It's just you take the artist like your son. You know, they have to be this bond that you create, this relationship. You have to check. There are so many things that you have to check. You always have to look if the artist is mentally stable, you know, for their mental health sake. Then you also have to check the business aspect. What plan do you have for the artist? So artist management is a bit on a personal level. But when it comes now to label management, it's like you are handling so many people in various departments. You control the promotion, you control the marketing, you know, you control the other division that is responsible for distribution and stuff. So you run the whole ecosystem of the label. So it's a huge tax that if you don't really understand how the industry itself operates and the business, you know, you won't be able to handle a record label. That's why sometimes people come, they create record labels, but they don't really have the right people to work with. And most times when you propose to them that you have to train staff, record label is not just like any other business. It's a business that involves the music industry, and anybody that you have to employ in the record label has something to add for the growth of the record label. And the record label manager is the one who is responsible to scout out for the right people who can take the label now and the artists inside the label to the next level. So a label manager also manage the artists that are inside the label, but he will also assign personal managers who will be reporting everything to the label, to the label head. So if the label fail, all blame goes to the manager.
Okay. So now to conclude, in order to conclude, what would you want, like, for a young artist watching this program? What can he pick out as a strategy, or what can you give out as a strategy or an advice that he can work on and develop in order to push their career further?
Yeah, what I can actually tell most of the young artists, develop yourself, you know, be your first investor before you are thinking about somebody who come and invest in you. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you won't bring that attraction. But if people see that you are investing in yourself, you are trying to push yourself to a certain level, then people will be attracted now to want to invest in you. But you don't expect that somebody who cannot even invest in his own self, his own career in the beginning, then you expect another person to come from outside to come and invest in you. So at that beginning of your career, you're supposed to be your own manager, your own investor in that period. You push yourself to a certain level before you expect other people to come. And also, I would advise most of the young artists there, don't stop, keep learning, educate yourself, because one thing you need to understand, keep that at the back of your mind, talent is never enough to be successful in the music industry. Those who succeed in the music industry are people who goes back and educate themselves to understand the business that they are in. Because most of the artists, they are in the music industry, but they don't understand the business that they are in. So in that level now, you start to face difficulties because you don't really understand, you don't educate yourself about certain things in the industry. The industry is full of different chains. You have to equip yourself to understand those chains in the industry, because if you don't equip yourself to really understand the business that you are in, you will always be ripped off out of ignorance.
For sure.
So you just need to keep educating yourself, because the tools are out there. We are now in the internet age. Every information is available for you online. It just depends what you are searching and what you want to get yourself educated with. It's there. There's piles of information on the internet. So it's just remain now on you. If you don't want to educate yourself and you want to remain dumb, you will be dumb. If you educate yourself, you understand the industry and the business, you will move forward. You will know how to navigate yourself to inside the industry. So the first thing you need to do is, you have the talent. Now educate yourself about the business of that talent, how to utilize the business to push your talent.
That's really true, because if you don't develop yourself and you don't understand exactly the business you are in, you can't actually make it.
Yeah, you can't actually make it. That's true. You can't actually make it.
So, anyways, thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
We hope in the nearest future we can get to have you again to share more insights on how to grow the music industry.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was Rene Immortal, and he was sharing with us some insights on the music industry in Cameroon. And I hope you learned a thing or two. So then, see you next Thursday.